The story begins with Sunwoo and Yoonsu, two childhood companions who'd been inseparable since the age of 9. For 19 long years, their friendship had weathered everything, every heartbreak, every small victory, every phase of growing up. Sunwoo was a photographer with a knack for capturing human emotion, while Eunsu dreamed of becoming a successful music composer. And today was supposed to be a big day for her, a meeting with the renowned composer Kim. Before the meeting, Yoonsu stops by Sunwoo's studio to get a professional photo shoot for her portfolio. When it's done, she rushes to leave but pauses by the door to ask him how she looks. Yoonsu walks up to him, cups his face playfully, and tells him to at least look her in the eyes when he says such things so she can actually believe him. Then, smiling, she walks away, leaving him momentarily speechless. A little later, Sunwoo's friend Han drops by the studio. Meanwhile, at the studio where Eunso waits, the day stretches into evening and her nerves begin to fray. The composer is nowhere to be seen. Just as she's about to give up, Kim finally arrives, apologizing for being late. Apparently, he got stuck in an urgent meeting. After reading her lyrics carefully, he says her writing is good, but something's missing. His current project, he explains, is based on one-sided love, and her lyrics don't carry that raw ache, the kind that seeps from real experience. He tells her that to write convincingly about unrequited love, one must have lived through it. Without that sting of helpless emotion, a song can never truly touch the heart. Gently, he adds that, though they won't work together this time, he hopes they can collaborate in the future. Kim stands to leave, but Yoonso stops him. With determination, she asks for 2 weeks, just 2, to write something that truly fits his project. Meanwhile, Sunwoo sits quietly in his studio, looking unusually somber. He tells Han that he's not submitting his photos to this year's exhibition because he feels his work lacks authenticity. Han, slightly exasperated, reminds him that every one of his photographs carries a story, that emotion has always been his strength. But Sunwoo, trapped in self-doubt, just shakes his head. Then suddenly, his phone buzzes. It's a message from Yoonsu. Without hesitation, he grabs his jacket and rushes out of the studio. Yoonsu is sitting in a small restaurant, the one she co-owns with her friend Mari and Ben, who, by the way, has now upgraded from business partner to boyfriend. Sunwoo finds Yoonsu staring blankly at her coffee cup. Her voice sounds tired as she says that the composer rejected her but gave her one last chance. Her problem, she confesses, is that she's never experienced one-sided love, so she doesn't know how to write about it. Sunwoo hides the ache in his chest and tells her that one-sided love hurts. It's loving someone silently, without expecting anything in return. You want to tell them, but fear holds you back. The fear of rejection, of losing the one thing that matters most. Yoonsu looks at him curiously and asks if he's ever loved someone that way. After a long pause, he says yes, once, to a girl named Jennifer. But the truth is, Jennifer was just a name he made up. The real muse behind all his pain sits right in front of him. Her name is Yoonsu. She doesn't realize it yet, but that night she plants the first seed of suspicion. If he's truly felt one-sided love, maybe he can help her write about it. She asks him to move in for a few days and help her with the lyrics. Sunwoo immediately refuses. He insists he's a photographer, not a lyricist, and can't possibly help. Later, after a few drinks, he insists on dropping her home. As they walk, Yoonsu tells him that if he loves someone, he should confess it instead of hiding it. She says gently that even if he's rejected, he shouldn't feel alone because he'll always have her. Her words hit harder than she could ever know. Sunwoo stays quiet, but inside, his feelings deepen beyond reason. The story then slips into a flashback. A few years ago, Sunwoo had entered a prestigious photography competition. The results came in, and their whole group, Mari, Han, Yoonsu, and him, gathered to check. Sunwoo placed third. Everyone cheered, except Yoonsu. Furious, she argued that Sunwoo's photos were the best and deserved first place. Her fierce protectiveness made their friends laugh. Mari teased that they'd been friends for so long, so why not start dating already? Yoonsu froze, the laughter fading from her face. She said seriously that she couldn't risk it. If she confessed her feelings and Sunwoo didn't feel the same, their friendship might never be the same again. In her heart, She told herself that living as his friend was better than losing him forever. Back to the present as early morning sunlight filters through Yoonsu's window when Sunwoo unexpectedly shows up with a bag. She's surprised and reminds him that yesterday he refused to move in. He grins and says Han's girlfriend came to stay over and he needed somewhere else to crash. Besides, she needed help with her lyrics, didn't she? Yoonsu's eyes soften. She doesn't say it, but his presence means more than she can admit. The two spend the day cleaning, cooking, and teasing each other over trivial things. By evening, the apartment smells like coffee, laughter, and mild exhaustion. After a few drinks, Yoonsu collapses onto the floor, dizzy and sleepy. Sunwoo quietly covers her with a blanket and lies down beside her, keeping a respectful distance. But soon, something changes. In her drunken haze, Yoonsu rolls over, wraps her arms around him, and falls asleep against his chest. Sunwoo stiffens, trying to move away, but the more he shifts, the tighter she holds on, like a sleepy cat refusing to let go. He sighs, half amused, half tormented. That night, he didn't sleep at all. He just lies there, watching her face, memorizing every quiet breath. For him, that silence feels like peace. Morning arrives, and Yoonsu blinks awake to find herself curled up beside him. The realization hits both of them like a jolt of electricity. They jump apart instantly, awkward and flustered. The rest of the day passes in stiff politeness, each pretending nothing happened. The air between them hums with unspoken Sunwoo, but they try to focus on what brought them together. By evening, they're sitting side by side again, two hearts pretending to be calm, two friends trying to write about one-sided love while unknowingly living it in real time. Yoonsu played her newly written lyrics and freshly composed melody for Sunwoo, eagerly waiting for his feedback. The room filled with her voice, soft, emotional, and hauntingly beautiful. As the music flowed, Sunwoo felt as though the world had vanished. In that moment, there was only Yoonsu, her sound, her emotion, her presence. But when she showed him the final line of her song, he frowned slightly and said the last verse didn't feel entirely real, that it lacked the depth and ache the song demanded. Yoonsu sighed, exhausted from working for hours without a break. To clear their minds, they decided to step out for some fresh air. Sitting outside a convenience store, they shared a bar of dark chocolate. Here, a small truth came to light that back in high school, Sunwoo was always seen munching chocolate. Everyone assumed he loved it, but in reality, he hated the taste. He only ate it because Yoonsu adored it. Romantic dedication, yes, but with a hint of self-torture. Just then, two high school students passed by on bicycles, and both were hit by a wave of nostalgia. On a whim, they rented a car and set off on a long drive, laughter spilling through open windows as memories resurfaced. But mid-journey, Yoonsu's phone rang. It was Kim. His tone was urgent as she needed to come to the office immediately to discuss the lyrics. Sunwoo's smile dimmed, but he said nothing. When they arrived, Sunwoo seemed distant, his usual calm replaced by quiet irritation. As Yoonsu and Kim discussed the lyrics intently, Sunwoo began interrupting, commenting on random things, asking irrelevant questions, clearly restless. Yoonsu looked at him in confusion. This wasn't like him at all. After they left the office, she confronted him about his behavior at Kim's office. Sunwoo's face tightened. Without warning, he snapped, asking her to drop him off immediately. Yoonsu protested, but he insisted and stormed out halfway through the ride, leaving her bewildered. Back at his studio, Sunwoo sat silently, his emotions heavier than the evening sky. Finally, he turned to Han and said he could no longer pretend because hiding his feelings for Yoonsu was becoming unbearable. Han, supportive as always, told him it was time to tell her the truth. Later, as Sunwoo was about to leave, Yoonsu appeared at the door, holding a flower bouquet and a small gift. With an apologetic smile, she said she was sorry for getting upset. Sunwoo tried to act tough for a few seconds, but eventually softened. He admitted he had overreacted too. The tension dissolved into laughter, and they ended up going shopping for dinner supplies together. Yoonsu, brimming with excitement, said she'd cook him something special with her own hands. But as soon as they opened the apartment door, both froze as Yoonsu's mother was standing there, arms crossed, radiating the energy of a detective who just caught two suspects red-handed. Yoonsu stammered, trying to explain that Sunwoo was just helping her with her lyrics, but her mother wasn't buying it. She ordered them both to sit down, then dramatically laid out tarot cards on the table, asking Sunwoo to pick 3. When he did, she looked at the cards and declared that he was in love truly, deeply in love, but the woman he loved was far away from him. Yoonsu's eyes flickered with unease. Was she talking about Jennifer? Her mother got up to leave for a friend's house, but not before issuing a warning that they'd better not do anything inappropriate, or she'd personally make sure they regretted it. Sunwoo escorted her outside, and in that brief moment, he sensed that Yoonsu's mother already knew the truth that he loved her daughter. That night, Yoonsu decided they would wake up early in the morning to take a morning walk. The crisp air, she hoped, would help her find new inspiration for her lyrics. The next morning, they did exactly that. As they walked under the pale dawn sky, Sunwoo noticed the chill and gently wrapped his scarf around her neck, teasing that she should learn to take care of herself because he wouldn't always be there to do it. Yoonsu smiled faintly as neither of them realized how wrong he was about that. Not always. Days passed and they continued living like that, eating together, laughing, working side by side, quietly falling deeper without realizing it. One afternoon, while Sunwoo was taking a shower, his phone rang. It was Han, calling for some important photos stored on Sunwoo's laptop. Yoonsu answered and, trying to help, opened the laptop to send the files. But while browsing, she accidentally stumbled upon a folder full of old pictures of her. Photo after photo, moments she didn't even remember, her smiling, reading, walking in the rain. Her breath hitched. She hadn't realized Sunwoo had been silently collecting pieces of her life for years. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. Just then, Sunwoo stepped out of the bathroom, his hair looking beautiful. He was surprised to find her staring at the laptop. Yoonsu, pretending to sound casual, began asking pointed questions to know the actual truth, like when he started liking Jennifer and what exactly about her he loved so much. Sunwoo's expression hardened. His tone turned sharp as he told her not to go through his things without permission. He said she had no right to interfere in his personal life and told her to stay out of it. The air turned heavy with awkward silence. Later, Yoonsu sat alone at her desk, trying to focus on writing lyrics, but failing miserably. Her thoughts kept circling back to what she saw, the photos, his words, the tension. Then her eyes caught something, Sunwoo's old diary lying nearby. She opened it hesitantly and found pages filled with lyrics written during his high school years. The story flashes back again to the time when Yoonsu had known about Sunwoo's passion for photography. Back then, it was she who had gifted him his first camera, unknowingly giving him the tool that would shape his life and their bond. That small act became a piece of their shared history. Back in the present, Han bursts into the studio with exciting news. A famous photographer, Benjamin Loren, had seen Sunwoo's work and was deeply impressed. He wanted to collaborate with him, a massive career breakthrough. Sunwoo's face lights up with joy for the first time in days. Meanwhile, Yoonsu meets Kim again to present her final lyrics. This time, he's thoroughly impressed. He praises her loyalty and hard work and invites her to the team dinner the next evening, a dinner also attended by the famous singer, Jaejoon. Overjoyed, Yoonsu rushes to tell Mari and Ben, who celebrate her success, but she hasn't told Sunwoo yet. In the middle of their chat, Yoonsu curiously asks Mari and Ben how their love story began. They laugh, saying they'd been friends for 15 years before realizing their feelings. That's when Yoonsu notices their knowing smiles. They think she and Sunwoo are next. Mari gently tells her that everyone knows about Sunwoo's feelings except her. She should give him a chance, but Yoonsu shakes her head. She admits she spent half her life with Sunwoo and knows how sensitive he is. She's terrified that confessing her own emotions might hurt him, or worse, change everything. "I can't live without him," she says quietly, "but I'd rather stay his friend forever than risk losing him." That evening, when she returns home, Sunwoo greets her with a flower bouquet, apologizing for his rude behavior that morning. He takes a deep breath and tells her everything she'd been wondering about, that he's loved a girl for 8 years, that he loves her because she's the only one who's ever truly believed in him, besides his mother. He says he's finally ready to confess to her. Yoonsu forces a smile, but that night she doesn't sleep. She just lies awake, hearing his words over and over, "I'm going to confess to her." The next morning, Yoonsu woke up early. her heart still heavy from the night before. She left the house quietly, without seeing Sunwoo, perhaps because she wasn't ready to face the storm of emotions building inside her. But fate, as always, had its own plans. Outside, she suddenly ran into him. Sunwoo looked at her with an unreadable expression and said he wanted to tell her something important, asking her to come home early that night. Yoonsoo froze, her pulse quickening. A nervous smile flickered across her face. Was he going to confess? Her heart raced at the thought, and to avoid showing her anxiety, she brushed it off lightly and hurried away. That evening, at the team dinner, Yoonsoo was glowing. Everyone praised her lyrics and work ethic. Laughter and wine filled the air. After dinner, Kim offered to walk her to a nearby wine shop. There, amidst the soft music and golden light, he confessed his feelings to her that he liked her dedication, her determination, and even her stubborn spark. He reassured her that she didn't need to worry. His personal and professional lives never mixed, so even if her answer was no, it wouldn't affect their work. Meanwhile, back home, Sunwoo waited for Yoonsoo long into the night. The clock ticked past midnight, and still, she hadn't returned. Growing restless, he tried calling her, but her phone was unreachable. Finally, unable to sit still, he went out to look for her and found her at the wine shop, sitting across from Kim. Without thinking, he walked in and sat beside them. Yoonsoo's face turned pale with surprise. She hadn't expected to see him there. At that moment, her phone rang, and she stepped outside to take the call. Inside, Sunwoo sat silently, his gaze fixed on Kim. Breaking the silence, Kim said casually that he had confessed his feelings to Eunsu earlier that evening. When Yoonsoo returned, Kim offered to drop both of them home, but Sunwoo quickly refused. He smiled stiffly and said he had some errands to run, so they should go ahead without him. Yoonsoo watched him leave, her chest tightening with unease. Later, when she reached home, she noticed something outside, her old high school bicycle, fully repaired. Sunwoo had fixed it for her. Tears welled in her eyes. She stayed up all night waiting for him, but he didn't come. She tried calling again, but the call didn't go through. The next morning, she went straight to his studio, but it was empty. Han was there, though, and he told her Sunwoo was preparing to leave for the United States. Hearing that, Yoonsoo smiled faintly, pretending to be happy for him, but inside, she felt a quiet ache. When she returned home later, she found him waiting for her. Sunwoo looked calm as he told her he was flying to the United States the next day. That's when it hit her. The reason he wanted her home early, the previous night, he had wanted to tell her about leaving, and she had misunderstood it as a confession. Hiding her disappointment, she smiled and congratulated him. The next morning, she accompanied him to the bus stop. He said goodbye with his usual soft smile and boarded the bus. As it pulled away, the world seemed to stand still for Yoonsoo. She sank down on the roadside, tears streaming freely. The story shifted back in time, years ago, when Sunwoo had left for his mandatory military service. That day too, Yoonsoo had pretended to be fine, smiling and waving as he left. But the moment he was gone, she broke down, crying alone in the corner. What she hadn't realized was that Sunwoo had seen her and that memory had stayed with him forever. Months passed. After Sunwoo's departure, Yoonsoo buried herself in work. Her dedication paid off as she got the chance to collaborate with a famous singer. Excited, she texted Sunwoo first to share the news. But she missed him constantly. They still exchanged messages now and then, but his busy schedule meant their conversations always ended too soon. A year slipped by. One day, Kim invited her to a fancy restaurant. The view was breathtaking, and Yoonsoo couldn't help but smile in awe. Kim looked at her earnestly and said he couldn't wait any longer as he needed her answer. Yoonsoo spoke gently, choosing her words carefully. She said she was grateful to him because his guidance had helped her succeed, and the evening he arranged was beautiful. But even in such a perfect setting, her heart was somewhere else. "You've made me feel special," she said softly, "but my heart already belongs to someone else." Kim listened quietly, then smiled with surprising warmth. "Thank you," he said, "for being honest. It hurts a little, but it won't change how I respect you," professed Sunwoo. That night, when Yoonsoo returned home, she noticed something unusual. A pair of men's shoes near the door and the house tidied up like someone had spent hours there. Her heart leapt. "Sunwoo, She ran from room to room, calling his name, but it was her mother who appeared. Smiling faintly, her mother told her to sit and pick 3 tarot cards. When she turned them over, her mother's voice grew serious. "You will only get one chance in life," she said. "When it comes, hold on to it. Don't let it slip away, or you'll regret it forever." Later that evening, Yoon-soo took her mother's advice quite literally. She took her repaired bicycle and rode out into the cool evening air. As she passed a small flower shop, someone stepped out, and it was him. Sun-woo stood there, holding a bouquet. For a moment, Yoon-soo just stared, speechless. Then both smiled. That kind of smile that says, finally, he came back. They returned home together, and Sun-woo handed her a pile of gifts he'd brought back. Seeing them, Yoon-soo's joy returned instantly, though she scolded him playfully for not replying to her messages all this time. That night, they went to a friend's restaurant to celebrate Mari's birthday with their group. After the party, as they walked home side by side, Yoon-soo looped her scarf around Sun-woo's neck and told him tenderly to take care of himself. It was simple, yet the affection in her voice betrayed everything she had tried to hide for years. The next morning, Yoon-soo went to Sun-woo's studio and noticed a junior photographer, Mina, helping him edit photos. They seemed close, laughing and chatting as they worked. A pang of jealousy hit Yoon-soo like a cold splash of water. She left soon after, unable to focus on her writing. That night, she received a message from Sun-woo, inviting her to dinner at the studio. She dressed up quickly and went only to find Mina there again. The dinner was polite but awkward. Afterward, Yoon-soo slipped outside and sat near the gate, her heart sinking because she couldn't bear seeing Sun-woo with anyone else. Soon she heard their voices and hid behind a car. From there, she overheard Mina confessing her feelings to Sun-woo, asking him to go on a date. Sun-woo, calm but firm, told her no. As Mina left, he called out softly, "You can come out now, Yoon-soo." She froze as he had seen her the whole time. Before he could tease her further, she changed the subject and suggested they go for a walk. As they walked under the streetlights, Yoon-soo brought up Mari and Ben's story, how they'd been friends for 15 years before falling in love. Then, half-jokingly, she asked what his answer would be if she ever asked him out. Without hesitation, Sun-woo said, "Of course it would be no." Yoon-soo stopped, surprised. "Why?" she asked quietly. Sun-woo looked ahead and said gently, "Because you're the one who said that if we never want to lose each other, we should stay friends forever." His words hung in the air like a bittersweet melody. He dropped her home and left, while she stood at the door, watching him disappear down the street, her heart silently breaking. The next day, while cycling, Yoon-soo's mind flooded with memories of how Sun-woo had taught her to ride, how patient he'd been, how much he'd always cared. And then her mother's words echoed again, "You'll only get one chance. Don't let it go." That decided it. She booked her friend's restaurant for that evening and prepared herself to finally speak the truth. When Sun-woo arrived, he looked around the empty restaurant in Konfu Sun-woo. Yoon-soo smiled nervously and said she needed to tell him something. "If I don't say this," she began, "this weight in my heart will never lift." She took a deep breath and continued, "When you left for military service, I cried a lot. Maybe you didn't know. I told myself I was crying because I'd miss having someone to hang out with, but that wasn't the truth. I was falling in love with you, I just didn't realize it then, and now I'm sure. I think one-sided love sounds cute when you read about it, but in reality, it's painful beyond words. I'm sorry it took me so long to understand what you meant to me. I love you, Sun-woo." Before she could say anything more, Sun-woo pulled her close and kissed her. The world seemed to go still. Every sound faded, every light softened. In that single moment, years of silence, longing, and friendship transformed into love. And just like that, their friendship's long journey came to an end, not in loss, but in beginning. From that day forward, Sun-woo and Yoon-soo were no longer just best friends. They were partners in dreams, in laughter, in love. And perhaps, as their story closed, the universe itself smiled, because finally, these two hearts had found home.